All right. And finally, we're going to talk about smart properties. In this example, this is the data agent. And so the data agent can look at call transcripts. I'm sure this is going to keep becoming better. So there are a few things it can do. It can do web research. It can look at a company website. It can look at other property data. It can now look at call transcripts. And essentially, you have a prompt that tells it, the question I put is to look at the call transcripts and it says, if a contact has mentioned any challenges or pain points they're having, can you take them and stick it in a property? So that's what it does. So there's a property called, what have I called it, Craig? I can't even see. Pain
points mentioned, yes.
Yes. So that then takes that, goes through the call transcript, puts it in there. You can see quite easily. I've created a view where you have these smart properties, so you can see it really quickly. The other one I did was one of our customers were looking at when people were getting funding. So they're looking at their financial years. And so what happens, it goes and it checks company documents. And because a lot of these companies are all listed, they have prospectuses and so on, or financial reports. It goes through that and picks out, okay, their financial year is this month of the year, and then fills that property. So they know in their sales process when people are likely to have budget, so they can talk according to that with their customers or potential customers. So that's 2 examples of smart properties.
That's really nice. Now, I'm just going to mention, it's not directly related to this, or it may impact it. If you've got sensitive data protection turned on in your portal, when you've got, what's sensitive data, medical data and things like that, that's a certain type of property you can turn on. I think if you've got an enterprise portal, you can turn it on. We have it on in our portal, I know. That does affect some of these tools. I don't know if it affects smart properties directly based on transcripts, but I do know it impacts some of the meeting call recordings when you pull out pain points. So sensitive data won't. So just be aware of that. If you're getting unexpected results in some of these kinds of prompts, it can be due to that. But overall, these are fantastic. Smart properties, there you go. There's probably companies where that's their entire business model. We will enrich your CRM based on these kinds of things. We will look at your CRM, we'll look at your latest calls, and we'll pull out pain points and that. As like a whole business. And no, HubSpot just gives you that as part of smart properties.
I think the other thing you want to note, I think I tried to do this, or not on a company, but on a contact. I tried to get some information about a particular person, about that person, right? It said no personal identifiable information can be gathered.
Right.
So just be aware that if you think, oh, I've got this contact, or I know their name, or I've got their email, can you go fetch some other details? It's unlikely that it's going to go do that for privacy reasons. So it's not going to do that. But like we've given examples in the company realm, this is where the big unlock is. If I'm talking about what does this mean for you going forward, the data agent with smart properties, that's what's going to change.